Hey guys,
I'm Jerry.
I'm Sierra.
We're ladies.
And we tangent.
I'm not sure if this can... that's not how that word's pronounced. I'm not sure if this constitutes a glitch. However, I do have quite a story.
Okay.
One night, this one freaks me the fuck out. Oh my God. Okay.
We love a good story.
One night, I had went to bed around 2 a.m. I had two people show up, a male and a female, by my bed.
What?
Think Men in Black.
No.
When they showed up, I freaked the fuck out because, you know, random people in my bedroom that I didn't choose to be there. They asked me to come with them. I dumbly went.
What?
And they legit took me to an office that was all light and white, and they showed me how it all worked.
What?
I, to this day, do not know if it was a dream or if it actually happened. I will say that I wear a fitness tracker 24/7, and it tracks my sleep, and it did say I was awake during that time. I had a full-on crisis the rest of the week. Love you, ladies.
Wait, Katie. How what all works? That's what I said. What are you fucking saying to me right
That's
now?
what I said. I read it to Shane, and I'm like, how what worked? And
How
he goes,
what?
Shane goes, how it all works. And I'm like,
What?
what is all? What do you mean?
Oh my God, what does it mean?
what does it mean? That's how I feel.
That made me cry.
Right?
Katie, will you tell me what it means?
Yeah, tell us what it means.
I need to know how it works. What the fuck are you saying? Wait, I'm gonna be Corey. What are you even saying to me right now?
I like when you do his voice.
Thank you.
Editing Jerry here to tell you if you want to hear the exclusive episodes in their entirety, you can go to patreon.com/ladiesandtangents right now. Okay. Thank you, love you, bye.
That feels
Mommy Lanks. Was I just like a slouchy McSloucherson? Is that why it was so low?
I don't know, but
This
if you
definitely
really,
feels higher.
I was gonna say, if you really are channeling grandma, if there was one thing that she was fucking used to get so mad at me for, it was
Posture?
slouching.
Yes.
She was like, you're gonna have a crooked back, and guess what? My back is crooked as fuck. But grandma, it's my genes. I don't think it's from. It's scoliosis.
Yeah.
It's not from slouching. If anything,
Although-
I was slouching because of my scoliosis. She was shaming me for it.
She did talk to me about that as well.
My
She
slouching?
No. My slouching.
I was like, God damn.
I remember her telling me to put my shoulders back and my boobs out. And I
Yes.
remember saying, Grandma, I don't have boobs.
And she would be like, chest out. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Put them babies to the wind.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I always think about that. There was a shirt that I had in my closet that she got me for Christmas, and it was blue, and it had boobs.
Mhm.
It like stuck
I
out.
remember that because you used to be like, this is my boob shirt.
Mm-hmm. I only wore it like when I was going to see Grandma because I wanted her to think I liked it.
Oh, grandma. I
I
miss
did.
her.
I loved it.
It was my favorite shirt.
Yeah.
What's up,
everyone?
Hello. Well, how are we doing?
Okay.
Oh, not me.
You're like, you know what? Thanks for asking. Actually, I'm not
Actually,
doing.
I'm doing terribly. Yeah, I'm not doing well.
Oh, wow. That was unexpected.
I thought that was water, and then I saw it fizzing, and I was like, there's tequila or vodka in that.
There's
I don't know
tequila
which
in
one.
here. This
Oh,
is cut water.
boy.
I don't think I've ever had cut water with a straw before, but I just got these straws off Amazon.
Yeah.
I want to get into why you don't feel good, but I
Okay.
really need to talk about my straws first.
Please. I can't explain why I don't feel good, so this is fine.
Okay. I really like reusable straws.
Yeah, I know. You got me into them. And
I
then
don't
got metal
have
straws.
like bottles of water, so I
Yeah.
just drink out of cups, and I have sensitive teeth.
Yep.
So I like to use a straw.
Mhm.
And people have gotten me like silicone straws.
Oh, I know. You
and
hate a
they've
bendy
also
straw.
gotten metal straws.
Yeah.
I am very particular about what I like to put my mouth on.
I will put
Okay.
my mouth on anything.
So I have
I
these.
put my mouth on your leftovers all the
You
time.
do. You do?
The silicone ones are the ones I used to use here all the time.
I was like trying to figure out what leftovers you were talking about. Yeah, the silicone straws are like strictly for you.
that's what you
They
used
have
to
your
do.
lipstick
Yeah.
on them.
all
still.
over them.
I like put them through the washing machine, and I'm like, wow, that's a good lipstick.
it's mad.
It's a problem that I put them in the washing machine because they should go in the dishwasher.
I didn't even catch it.
Anyway, I was like, that doesn't feel right coming out of my mouth. But
We're going into it, but anyway.
I have been making a lot of iced coffees.
Ugh.
And so I've been using a lot of straws, and I only like specific straws. So
But you don't do the dishes often enough, so you need more.
Yes.
I understand.
Well, I only have like 3 glass ones because I had 4 and I broke one.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like thick guys. Like you could drink a smoothie with them.
Ooh.
And so then I bought more, but I found these ones that are colored glass.
Mm.
And they're such fun colors. They're like
I like
very
that.
70s like tones.
Yeah.
And I wanted to drink out of a fun straw.
Yeah.
And now here I am choking on my tequila.
And here we are.
Mhm.
What a beautiful straw.
Thank you. So why are you sad?
I don't know. Honestly, I think
Why are you hating
I
everything?
think life. I honestly, well, here's my problem.
Yeah, what's your fucking problem?
What is my problem? Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
We're still in a pandemic, you guys. I don't know if you fucking know about it, but it's happening, and everyone I fucking know has COVID or has just had it or is getting it or we think has it, so we're staying away from them. And having a newborn, she's not a newborn anymore, by the way. She's 3 months officially, and it hurts. I just said the other day, I said newborn, and I was like, wait, she's officially not newborn.
Yeah, she's just a baby.
But
infant?
having an infant,
Okay.
a 3-month-old.
Like younger than a newborn.
That's what, right? But it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, having an infant under 6 months is difficult when you are isolated from fucking everyone who can help with anything.
Mhm.
So that leads me into what I'd like to have formal apology for last week's episode.
Oh, okay.
I shit the bed on that one, you guys, a little bit because I don't have access to babysitters right now. So I do the majority of the work that I do when my child is like sleeping, but she's been super fucking clingy and like, so she's in my arms and I'm trying to hold her. And also, so when I talked about the hierarchy of needs, I was speaking about what I learned about in my core 1 friggin' psychology class. I am not an expert. I've said that multiple times, but truly, I don't know shit about dick.
Yeah.
I should have put more time and research into it, but I really wasn't trying to like give the full. I just wanted to use the base example that I learned about in psychology to talk about like what was going on with us and how related and hopefully validate somebody. But I understand that was not the right way to go about it because there's so much that we learned about Maslow and kind of fuck that guy for real. But the whole hierarchy of needs thing was definitely whitewashed, and he stole so much of that theory from members of the Blackfoot tribe, correct, in Alberta. And he stayed with them for a long time. The pyramid is actually a teepee. Yeah. And like there's a big, so I want to give that the full like attention and research that it deserves. So we want to do, eventually we're going to do, when I can put the time into it that it deserves.
Right.
We're going to do an episode on things like that are so whitewashed that my college professors never even mentioned that. Like, that's the thing. I read 4 different .org or like .gov sites because I try to find like reliable sites, but I'm also learning that those aren't technically reliable. It's like sometimes blogs, firsthand accounts from people who's
are more noteworthy,
because whitewashing exists and it can just be erased from history. And so I watched like 2 TED Talks and I looked at a couple websites, but basically I was like, yeah, I know about it, so I'm just gonna read and then we'll talk about why I think it pertains to us. And I think it can be very validating, so I don't want to dismiss if it validated you. I hope that you still took whatever from it, but I do want to apologize because that is the last thing that I wanted to do was perpetuate this fucking guy who stole shit, and we want to give credit where credit is due. So
and that's why we found out about this from a comment on one of our YouTube videos, and thank you so much to that person.
And we also got a DM.
Oh,
and
we did?
Thank you to them. I messaged them back as well.
Yes. So like that matters to us. It means so much to us that you guys take the time and the energy to inform us about something that we obviously didn't know about.
Yeah.
And we
weren't being malicious,
no.
but I was being ignorant, and that is my bad. Like that is 100% something that I was at fault for. So I appreciate, you guys taking the time to educate me, because that was something I should have done, but it's difficult because it's not easily available, and that's frustrating for everybody.
Well, and that's what I said in the comment is I started typing it, and if I didn't type precise exact wording,
you couldn't find it.
It wasn't there. It was gone.
Yeah.
And that is frustrating for us as people who want to do good and help and provide resources. But I can't even imagine how frustrating it is for other people who continuously see their culture being appropriated and being misinterpreted and being taken advantage of and being whitewashed.
Having things that were specifically for a certain community being turned to only fit like Eurocentric Western like ideology.
Yeah.
It sucks. And I totally, that was,
so
I'm sorry for
we
that.
appreciate you giving us the opportunity to be better allies.
Yeah.
And we do want to use our platform to inform people about those things. So if there's anything else that you guys know of that is like popularly circulated, that is stolen from something else and completely whitewashed, we're not expecting you to give us all the resources.
No.
But if you can just tell us
the name, I will absolutely give it the time it deserves, because I think that's important.
But we don't know what we don't know. That's the hard. That is the hard part, is that we don't know what we don't know.
And we went to school in America, and we went to school in Ohio.
Yeah.
So it's like we truly didn't learn what,
right.
Culturally, we didn't learn what we should have, I think.
And we don't
even in college, I feel like, how did that slip through my college course?
I know.
But
yeah. And so we're not making excuses. We just want to apologize, and we want to let you know that that's something that we're prioritizing in the future.
That I want to do.
Yeah.
But it's not that I'm just shoving it off on this episode and saying like, I'm not going to talk about it. I want to give it the time it deserves. That's why I want to wait till I have like an appropriate amount of time. It's difficult, you guys. I came back because I love you, and we had to.
Yeah.
I want to. I love this, but it is difficult when literally everyone I know is sick, and so I can't there's no one to watch my child for me to even take an hour nap or whatever, take a shower even. Yeah. So I want to do better, and I will. Just give me a second. But I will. I promise. We are going to go into that more in the future.
And we know that there's so many people from around the world, from so many different backgrounds, that are in our audience. And so being able to highlight something from your culture, or something that you have struggled with, or that you've seen somebody steal or miseducate, like using our platform to spread that awareness is something we want to do. So
yes, we do.
Again, thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Yes.
So today?
Yeah. Oh, today.
Did you have more? Are we ready to transition?
I'm ready.
Okay. Well, I was going to tell you that I think I broke my finger.
Oh my God.
A bit of a weird transition, I guess.
Why?
So did I tell you I hyper focused about a coat?
Yes.
Okay. So I wanted this coat, and I was like, I don't need a coat. And I walked away from it. Yeah. And then I saw it the other day, and it was right before we got like 18 inches of snow.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
we got so much snow.
I want that effing coat.
And
Shane's like,
now.
Get that coat.
It's a necessity.
And I was like, it's not my size. I'll order it. And then they were completely out online. And so the only coat that was available, like this specific coat, I spent over an hour trying to find something similar, and I could not, was at the Target in Canton.
Yeah.
And so I drove up the next day after I had just seen it the night before, and I went and got that damn coat. And I got home, and I was strutting around the house. Yeah. Like I thought I was the Queen of England.
It's a very
Although
puffy.
I can't imagine the Queen of England strutting.
I feel like she hobbles.
Yeah.
Maybe that's offensive, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, a bit ageist.
Sorry. I just feel like every time I've seen her, she's slower than
everyone else. Yeah. Well, I will say I don't think strutting is very royal.
It's not?
Hobbling seems more royal.
For sure.
Just like
Well, again, and we learned there's a lot of cobbled streets. So you got to hobble on the cobble.
Yeah. That's what I always say. But I got home and I was like, I'm going to go on a walk in this coat. It's fucking cold outside. It was starting to snow. It was like the snow that gave us all of those inches.
Chunks.
Yep.
It was a fucking chunky snow.
I had a coffee in one hand and I was pushing my stroller in the other.
You had your children with
I
you?
did.
You're like, we're going out in the snow.
I did.
Mommy got a new coat.
That's exactly what I did. But I got them coats too, and I was like,
good.
here. And then I got them snow boots. Watching a toddler and a baby walk in snow boots is the funniest fucking thing ever. But Ollie walked the entire way to my parents.
Oh my
he
God.
refused to get in.
You went to your parents.
I did, yeah. But I got there.
He walked in his snow boots?
He did.
That
and
is so cute.
I asked him so many times, like, are your feet hurting? Do you want to get in here? And he's like, no, I'm just walking. And I'm like, okay, fair enough.
I just walking.
And so we got to my parents, and I'm strutting around their house.
Are they home?
Yes.
Okay.
My mom is with the kids, and I am just like basically showing my dad my coat. I'm like, what do you think of this coat? Anyway, so the only reason I told you about the coat is because I wanted you to know how we got to my parents.
Okay.
So now we're at my parents.
Yes.
And my mom has these weights in the living room.
Okay.
I don't know if she works at Mom, let me know. Do you work out in the living room? Why do you have weights in the living room? She's got like a kettlebell and also some like dumbbells just like in the TV stand.
Okay.
And so Forrest goes over there.
Probably when you gotta watch those shows. Tybo and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
On your TV.
But
Okay, sorry.
Forrest goes over and picks up a 10-pound kettlebell.
Uh-oh.
Like
No.
picks it up and starts walking.
This toddler is a giant human.
He is. So my dad freaks out. My dad is the king of
Yeah.
And I look at him like, will you calm the fuck down?
So is my dad. That's probably why we have anxiety.
Probably. So he goes, Jerry, that's a 10-pound kettlebell. Like
It could break his foot. That's what my
Yes.
mom would say. Literally, one time, Noah picked up a 5-pound weight, and he was like 7.
Yeah.
She was like, Jira, if he drops that, he could break a toe. And I was like, I think he'll be okay.
Well,
Uh-oh.
so I got close to him just in case he was going to drop it again and I could grab it. Well,
Oh, it's 10 pounds.
it's 10 pounds. He drops it. I put my hand underneath it. Why? I don't fucking know.
Was it going to hit his foot or no?
I don't remember. All I remember is that this 10-pound weight dropped on my middle finger. And my dad looked at me and he goes, how'd that feel? You just got a 10-pound weight dropped on your finger. And I was like, not good, Dad. Doesn't feel great.
I don't feel good about
Yeah.
this.
And I remember pushing it and feeling like a pop.
Oh, no.
And then I can crack it still. It doesn't feel good. There's nothing they could do if it was broken. Shane thinks it's just fractured.
Yeah.
It hurt. It hurt
Yeah.
and it was swollen.
Oh, yeah.
And it was
Stoved, maybe?
Shane goes,
I don't know
so
what that means, but
what finger was it? And I was like, this one.
this guy.
It's my middle finger.
That's my son's favorite thing because now he knows that the middle finger is bad. So he's like, Mom, I got a cut. Do you see my cut on my finger? And I'm like, Noah. He's like, what? I'm just showing you my cut.
Mhm.
I'm like,
Sure
but
you
I
are.
can't yell at him because he's like, why is a finger bad? And I was like, I don't fucking know.
Good
Honestly,
question.
it shouldn't be. Let's fucking who cares?
Yeah, I don't care. So
Like the fact that I would have to blur that out if we were like on TV.
on network
That's
TV.
the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
I know.
It's a finger.
I would do it really fast to see if the blur could like find it.
Catch me if you can.
We're gonna get if we ever get an award and it's live.
I'm
We're just
gonna
gonna be like,
I'm gonna be like, I like to thank my mom.
I'll just tuck my hair with it. Another thing I wanted to tell you is I had therapy and I finally told Barbara about my picking.
Oh.
And she is like, I'm a little concerned about us going more than 1 week in between sessions because that's not okay.
Is it like an anxiety thing?
Well, I don't know.
Well, I
We
think
are
you've made me
talking-
start doing it because I don't know if you could see this guy, but I've
I
made
cannot.
oh, maybe it's. Where is it?
Is it gone?
Well, I made it like a hole. Oh,
Oh.
there it is, I think.
Well, like
And I was just destroying it. I squeezed and then I pulled and then I
Yeah.
squeezed more and it was just bleeding and I was like, yes.
That feels good.
I like that.
But I told her I had my session at like noon because now that Shane's home, I'm able to do it during the day.
That's so nice.
So nice. And she was like, you seem so good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel great. I really do. I feel amazing. Like my life feels totally different. So much has changed. And she's like, your face seems a little red. Do you want to tell me about that? And I'm like, okay. So there's this thing happening. And I don't know what it's related to. Could be medication. I know someone in the comments on the video where I talked about skin picking said that like SSRIs, their medication could make picking worse.
Really?
So I don't know. It's something I need to bring up to my doctor. But
interesting.
because I'm also having horrific restless leg, which
Yeah.
your dad mentioned to me too.
When I was on that was one of my worst ones. Nightmares and restless leg. It was like I could not sleep because
restless leg is like killing me.
Yeah, I was like cricketing in my bed like a
Mhm.
fucking grasshopper all night.
Yeah.
Until at one point, the tops of my feet were raw from how much I would rub them against each other.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, she was like, I think we need to talk about OCD, but we also need to talk about figure out what it is. Like if it's anxiety related or if it's OCD.
Yeah.
Because I have a few other OCD tendencies as well, but like, I don't know. I have no idea. This is just a new thing. But she was like, I'll probably get into some of the stuff when we talk about Encanto.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, I need you to go like half an hour without picking your face. And I was like,
done.
Okay.
But
and
also
she goes, can you go an hour without picking anything? And I was like, am I awake? Because probably not. I said, Barbara, I have scabs up my back, on my chest, on my arms, in my scalp, on my neck, and on my face. And she's like, okay, we have a new focus for the next time we talk. Like, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you did that. I'm like, yeah, that didn't feel as important as all the other shit we were working through, but this has been a lifelong thing of mine.
It has been really, and has it been getting worse recently?
Oh, yes.
So that's where I was, 2020, when my skin got really bad and I was just absolutely destroying it, but it was everywhere. I would do it to my scalp to where my scalp would bleed. I would just like itch my scalp until I had like scabs, and I would pick the scabs and it would bleed.
That's always in the back of my head.
Oh, it was terrible. Mine was at the forefront, really awful. And like the only thing really that helped was getting pregnant because my skin cleared up and I didn't have anything I could pick. And I also just
pass.
What? Oh.
I will not get pregnant.
No, don't. I'm not saying that should be. I'm just saying
anyone's remedy.
No, but since my skin is starting to get worse again, I've noticed that I'm starting to do it because once I get one, I literally can't leave it alone.
Well, now I wonder if I talk about what I think the reasoning behind it is, if you'll relate to it as well.
Okay.
But I feel like we'll get into it when we get in there. I do want to say one more disclaimer. I have a huge insecurity when speaking about different cultures and talking and pronouncing their words.
I was going to say the same thing. Thank you. I literally was going to say the same thing.
Because I want to say it correctly.
But I don't want to say it wrong.
Yes. And I don't want to sound like I'm trying to give
mock or
like trying to do some kind of an accent that's like offensive, but like I don't want to be offensive and disrespectful by not attempting to pronounce the word how it's supposed to be pronounced.
Thank you, because I was going to say the same. I was going to say the exact same thing.
Because I feel embarrassed, like if I try and say,
me too. It's like an embarrassing
Encanto, and I'm like, that's fucking wrong.
Encanto.
Like it's Encanto.
But when I just said
feel
that,
embarrassed.
I was like, am I going to get in trouble for saying it like that? Like someone's going to be like, why would you even attempt that? That was like, not even the way that it's said.
Yeah,
or whatever.
So we're trying.
Yeah,
and we want to do it justice, and we want to try to do our best to be as respectful as we can, and we're gonna try
to give these pronunciations.
Yeah, all we got. But We're just two white girls from
God damn it, we are
Ohio.
absolute mayonnaise on this couch right now.
Yeah.
And I apologize. Because they roll the R, and I'm like, I can't do that.
Mirabelle.
So, wow.
I watched this and I was waiting. I thought that you would have watched it before me.
I didn't even know about it.
This is so highly requested by you guys, which
yeah, that's why we're doing this. So if you're like, why are we talking about this?
Oh yeah,
my God,
we
it
definitely
was hugely requested.
We don't want to ever speak over anyone, but we are so excited to be able to talk about this, especially because it reinforces so many this is not going to go well of my political ideals.
Yeah.
And
highlights on generational trauma, especially with migrant
refugees.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's important.
It is important, and we would never ever want to speak over someone.
Nope.
I do have a video that I wanted to share of a creator on YouTube. I pulled a few words from what she said because I wanted to understand what the inspiration for Encanto was and like
I got
the history of it.
It's so funny you watch videos because mine are all like websites.
Is it?
Yeah. Because me and my son do this thing. It's hilarious. He's very much like you, but he came down and he was like, Mom, after we watched it, he was obsessed.
Yeah.
Like right off the bat, we've been listening to all the songs in the car ever since we watched it. We've watched it 4 times since I saw you guys said something. So this week I started it. I cried the whole freaking time, by the way, the whole first time. And then the second time I was getting a lot. And by the third time I was singing along. You know what I'm saying? But what was I saying? Where was I?
I'm like your son with videos.
Yeah, so he came downstairs like the third time that we were watching it. He's like, Mom, you got to watch for this Easter egg here. And I was like, is it when he's seen in the background and blah, blah, because that was on a website and he watched a YouTube video. Yeah. And like, it's just funny because as soon as I watch something and I'm really into it, I have to start like looking things up about it. I want to know trivia about it. I want to know like the inspiration. And then my son does the same thing just with YouTube.
Yeah. Well, did you know that there's a real Mirabelle?
No.
Okay, so it's not her name, but Disney. This was from a TikTok. I will try and find the creator's name here. Let me try and find her name real fast. Okay, they don't have pronouns, but it's Empowered Teaching on TikTok. She posted a video talking about Disney and Encanto and how Disney went to Colombia and their tour guide is actually who they took inspiration from for Mirabelle.
That.
And she was hired on by Disney to be their cultural consultant.
Oh,
sorry if I fucked that up, but something like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Phenomenal. I love that.
So there's that little fun fact.
I didn't know that. Can we just say right now that Lin-Manuel Miranda is an absolute genius.
Yeah.
Like, I love everything that man does. Like, literally, I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, me neither.
I've never heard a song that he creates that isn't catchy as fuck.
Well, okay, I went down a rabbit hole of this one singer who did the Bridgerton musical, and she explained her writing process for a musical, and something she said is the only time there should be a song in a musical is when words are not enough.
Yeah.
And when I watched Encanto and I heard the songs, it was like, I get that now.
Yes.
Words were not enough for them to explain.
Especially in a children's movie, because I feel like they used a lot of the really heavy moments and put them into song. And it was like, this is catchy, but the adults were like, I fucking see what's going on right now. The kids were like, yay, I love all the colors and the dancing and the donkeys. And but the adults were like,
it feels very
relatable.
Much like Disney is making movies right now.
For adults.
For like conversation starters between adults and kids.
Oh my God, it's been amazing. The conversation I had with Noah was incredible about this. So do you want to dive in?
Yeah. Do you want me to say what I had? I only have like just a short thing. So the video that I watch is by Jessica Flores, and she is on YouTube. So if you want to watch her whole video, she has like a series on Encanto. So like if you want to go and watch like her analysis of it and her deep dive into it, and she gives more like context as well, go check that out. But she talked about how the storyline is inspired by Colombia, obviously, but magical realism. There's a Colombian author that she talks about in her video who is well known for magical realism, and she thinks that that's what the butterfly was a nod to, is there was a lot of butterflies in his writing.
Yeah.
And I don't have his name. Part of me doesn't want to tell you because I want you to go watch her video. Like I
go
don't
watch her video.
Go watch her video. I didn't know what magical realism was.
Yeah.
And
I still
so
don't.
essentially it's like, it sounds like a story that could happen, but there's elements about it that like are unexplained.
Yes.
And so Encanto is like the opposite of it because it's very magical.
Yes.
But like
it's
real.
Yeah.
So she said it's represented by there not being an explanation for the magic. Like you know when they got it, but like you don't know why, and you don't know where,
happened.
and there's no reasoning for like who gets the gifts and why they get the gifts. It just is.
Yes.
So like there's no explanation behind it. It just exists. And then
which makes it hard when something like her not getting her gift, because it's like, why? What's the answer?
Right. And you know what? When I first watched it, I felt unresolved. I felt like
me too.
I was kind of upset, and I saw some people
explain it to me.
I saw some people talking about it in the Fangids page where they were like, everyone is hyping up Encanto, but like I don't get it. And I had to watch it more than once.
Me too.
To get it. But because the first time I'm like, no, I want more.
Yeah.
This doesn't
tell
feel
me
done.
what happened. Yeah, like tell me why.
Yes.
Explain this to me.
It
like I'm dumb.
It feels like there's more that needs to happen, and like there is.
Yeah.
But they did tell the full story.
Yes.
It was a full story. It's just
you have to catch it in really subtle ways and in songs.
Well, and there's so much of it that is you can relate to your real life, and it was almost like I want these things to be resolved in my own life, and if I can watch it be resolved on screen, then maybe I'll feel better about the fact that it's not resolved here.
Yeah.
But that's not how life works.
Right.
So I just get it to have it be unresolved. But the other thing that she mentioned in her video that I wanted to touch on, because they don't talk about what they were running away from. They only know that
you said they don't talk about, and I was like, Bruno-no-no. And then I couldn't listen to the rest.
Sorry.
So I had to say that part first. Sorry. They don't
talk about what they were running from.
Yeah.
Like you obviously see the people on horses, and you know that they were in danger because there was swords and stuff. So like you know that they were running away from violence.
Yeah.
But you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And she said that based on the timing of the video, I do have a screenshot of something as well that kind of backed up what she said. So it says this is from screenrant.com. Based on key details from Encanto, such as the character's dress, type of camera used for the family photo, Bruno's home entertainment setup inside the walls of Casita, Encanto's time period setting is approximately the 1950s. This would then place Alma and Pedro's backstory around the turn of the century when the real-life Thousand Days War was taking place.
Wow.
This conflict ran from the 17th of October, 1899 to the 21st of November, 1902.
Wow.
So it was the product of civil unrest in which the liberal and conservative groups fought to enact a decentralized or centralized government, respectively. Basically, there was this conservative party that was falsifying elections so that they could stay in power. And so this civil war happened, and it displaced so many fucking families.
Yeah.
And Jessica she obviously wasn't alive when this happened, but she's heard about it her whole life, she said, is that like this is something that she's heard about in her family. And I can only imagine how many families because that wasn't the last civil war. There was another one after that. Are still dealing with the generational trauma and fallout of these things, not only in Colombia, but like in multiple places around the world.
Yeah.
So
anywhere people have to flee from things like that.
Right.
Any kind of violence or
That's
protecting your children, protecting your family.
All I kept thinking about when I was watching that is thinking about people who are trying to escape situations
Mm-hmm.
and how there was this huge desire to close our borders
Mm-hmm.
and turn away refugees. And when I see this movie and I see the impact that it's having on people, I wonder if they think about that too.
Yeah.
Like, you see this family, you see that they're running, you see that they're hurting.
You see what they can become when they have a beautiful place to thrive and live and
Right. Safety.
grow. Yeah. Security.
And why is that something that
We
we're
want to
not
deny people.
Yeah, or make more difficult or shame people for, you know
Mhm.
what I mean?
As if we have some claim to this place because we were born here.
Yes. That was the one thing that like really, really was eating away at me is like, if you can watch this movie and you see this family and you feel for this family and you can relate to this family, they're a cartoon,
Yeah.
but they represent real people.
Yeah.
Real issues, real displacement, real generational trauma of individuals. So hooray, you relate to this cartoon, but like you can also relate to those people and you can help them.
Yeah.
Like, we can do something for them.
Yeah.
We can stand, even if it's like just speaking out or voting to protect people, or, you know, just having tough conversations with your family members about that.
Yeah. And why that's important.
Yeah.
Why this representation is super important.
Yes.
Because we didn't have this for a long time.
Right.
Okay, so do you want to go through I just have the songs.
Sure.
But so the first song is The Family Madrigal.
Mm-hmm.
Madrigal. Friggin' okay, so I like this song because it really like introduces everybody in a super fun way, and they kind of did the same thing in Moana. There was a lot of comparisons between this movie and Moana, like a ton.
Yep.
Fun fact too, the part where she's like, "That's why coffee's not for kids or it's for adults." Some children in Colombia, I read, do drink coffee, so that's it was like a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that
I
was
think
really
a lot of coffee
interesting.
comes from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The good stuff at least.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other thing I was going to say was right before this, she is about to leave the house and like to herself she says, "Make your family proud." That's like her freaking mantra.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about anything else, but it's like, make your family proud. That's all she wants. And then we see this a lot throughout the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
Is everybody is, what can we do to serve other people?
Well, and I saw
which
something.
was another thing too, the Maslow's hierarchy.
I was going to go there.
Because not Maslow, the Blackfoot hierarchy, which I don't even think it's a hierarchy, but the tribal.
So Maslow took from the Blackfoot tribe and he made these ideals centralized around the individual.
Around reaching self-actualization was, you can't get better than that.
Yes.
That's the tippy top. That's what we aim for.
Yep.
And the TP had self-actualization on the bottom. We'll talk about the symbolism of the teepee in my next blog, which will include interviews with Blackfoot elders. So it says, you'll note that self-actualization is the base of the First Nations teepee. It's not a hierarchy, by the way, but it's not the peak. After self comes community, which is the purpose of becoming an actualized human being to be of service to our communities as independent webs of humanity. And above community, reaching towards the expansiveness of the sky, lies cultural perpetuity.
Perpetuity?
Perpetuity?
Oh, perpetuity feels good.
Yeah, I like that better than perpetuity. That feels like I'm chewing on something. Or the idea of sustaining cultural values across space, time, and generations.
Yes.
Which I think is what a lot of not white people focus on, honestly.
Well, I saw another creator on TikTok who was talking about Encanto, and he was saying that in Latinx cultures, specifically Colombian cultures, he was saying that like the purpose is to provide for your family. It is
the family is like, the community is higher than yourself.
Yes. And so like you are supposed to do things and help for your family, and like it makes sense.
Yeah.
I understand why. It's just not.
But with that comes the problems that we see
Yes.
in the show, which is
Yes.
again, it's not a bad thing to want to put family and community with yourself. But
I think the problem is assuming a role that doesn't fit you, that makes you shrink. And so, like, it's hard. We've talked before.
having to find that balance.
Yeah, it's hard to be there for other people and fill the needs of other people when you yourself are really struggling.
Yes. It says, the town keeps growing, the world keeps turning, but work and dedication will keep the miracle burning, and each new generation must keep the miracle burning. That's in the song. So the whole thing around this is like, we are born to get these gifts, and then the gifts are what makes us essential to the community. And if we don't have that, what are we doing?
Yes.
Basically. That's why we're here.
Yep.
We swear to always help those around us and earn the miracle that somehow found us. Which then we find out that she didn't get her miracle.
Right.
Which is freaking cried this whole time because who did you relate to the most?
I knew.
I already know.
I related the most to Louisa.
I knew it because I was like, how did it feel when you wrote that song?
Yeah.
Because the whole time I was watching it, I was like,
I definitely related to Louisa, but I also related to Isabella.
Me too. I feel like I related to Isabella a lot. With the wanting to do everything perfect, and if not, then not doing it.
Yep.
Not that I am perfect. That's not the part I related to, but the part where she felt like if she's not doing perfect things, then she can't do it. Because why aren't you?
See, I related to her when she was like saying, what could I create if I knew that it didn't have to be perfect?
Same.
What can I do?
What could I do
Yeah.
if I knew that it didn't have to be beautiful?
Yeah. And I went into teaching and was going to go on that path because I felt like, okay, it's a stable job. It looks good in the community because look at me giving back. It is a job that everybody kind of like thinks is respects. And so I hated it. I hated everything about it, but I did it because
this is what you were supposed to do.
It was a good one. It was a good job. There it is. That you've done it. You're on the path. And so then when I started stepping outside of that and realizing how much more fulfilled I was feeling and how much joy could come with that, I felt like Isabella when she realized that she could grow something other than perfect flowers.
Yeah. The one I connected to the most was Mirabelle.
Sorry.
No, please. The whole time. That's all.
That song.
By
that
the
part
way,
of it's so funny.
The only part that keeps that I hyper focus on is Isabella, your boyfriend is here. Playing over and over in my mind constantly. Yeah. But Mirabelle is who I feel like can you tell that's who that was
who Shane identified with?
Yeah.
Was Mirabelle.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's I had always, not with my siblings so much as like cousin. I feel like cousins as a whole.
Yep.
But it was always like, look what they're doing. Look at what's in their special gifts and talents were like sports or smarts or getting into schools here, or doing all of these things. And I was like, but I can do. I'm good too. Like I'm special too, just because I'm not super good at basketball, or just because I'm not on the honor roll, or just because I'm not in the choir. And
literally, you're just saying all of the things that
you did.
I know, but and it's hard because we were in the same class.
Yeah,
it
and
was
I got
really
compared
hard.
to you a lot, and it wasn't like your fault that I got compared to you a lot, but I did because we were so close in age, because we were like supposed to be,
That kills me.
I know.
I need you to know it kills. Like that was what my session was about.
Really?
That's what I think my picking's from.
From what? Me?
So not necessarily, but that.
Yeah.
Because something that Barbara likes to do is help me figure out where that stems from. So we launched Patreon, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Y'all just went off talking about Willy Wonka the other night.
Oh,
it was so fucking funny.
I love the Discord so much.
We're still figuring it out, but thank you so much.
Yeah, and I try to be in it, but again, I'm trying to also focus on. I had to watch.
Yeah, we pop in every once in a while, but so I am seeing so many people join, and like I am feeling guilt
Yeah.
and I'm feeling incredibly nervous
Sure.
because you guys met us.
Yeah.
You met like 2 years worth of us,
Yeah, I
like
was
at
gonna
one
say,
time.
You met us when we didn't know you were me. Like, it's weird
Yeah.
to think about.
You're talking to me in 2019.
Yeah.
And then you're talking to me today. And those are two very, very different people.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're the same, but we're very different. And
Yeah.
I think a part of me, and this is also my connection to Louisa, is now that my life feels more manageable, now that I'm enjoying things, now that, in her song when she's like, if I could wait on expectations, that part.
Yes.
Would there be room for joy?
Would there be room for relaxation?
I'm in that place
Yeah.
and I'm feeling guilty about it
Yeah.
because I don't think I'm afraid that it's going to make other people feel bad.
Yeah.
I feel like if I'm doing well, then other people are going to feel bad.
Oh, understandable. I get it.
I'm afraid that people will only like me when I'm struggling.
When you're doing it all.
When I'm going.
Yeah.
And if I'm able to relax and I'm happy and
Not
I'm
of service to people?
then I'm afraid that you won't like me anymore.
Aww.
Or that I'm going to make someone feel bad about themselves.
Right.
And it would
Well,
kill
and again,
me.
that was not your fault, dude. That's the thing that sucks, is that you had to feel bad, because I know you saw it too when we were younger.
Yeah.
But also, we never talked about it.
No.
Because I knew it wasn't your fault. And you knew it wasn't me putting that on you,
Right.
or that I resented you for how they compared us.
Yeah.
But it was,
Because it wasn't just you.
no, they did it to all the grandees. It was like, you're the one and you gotta be,
And that's why it's annoying because I am a very determined person.
Yeah.
And if I want something, I'm going to do whatever I can to get it. I literally will
not like
envision
that.
myself having it and then I just fucking figure it out and I do it. I may then get tired of it and never touch it again, but I will master it. And
I'm so sorry. In my head, you just were gonna say, I will masturbate. I was like, why?
not right now.
That's what I do when I'm stressed out too.
But yeah, I just feel it makes me feel bad to be good. And then even saying that, I feel like someone will roll their eyes at it. But it's
No.
almost like
If Isabella taught us anything, it's
Yeah.
that it is pressure to be perfect, even though it's the one that people are like, ugh, Isabella.
Yeah.
She's the perfect one. She's the one I have to go and do, hug her.
yeah.
But she's the one that is,
Her life is great.
why do I have to apologize to her?
Mhm.
But it's like, she is going through some shit too.
Yeah.
And if she could just, whatever, look at how you could help her in a way.
Well, that was something that I felt like growing up, and I had a conversation with my youngest sister of I took on this role of parent.
Yeah. Oh,
And-
that's it. Part of the Surface Pressure song.
Yes.
That give it to your sister. Your sister's older. Oh,
Yes.
dude, that part had me bawling. I'm
because
not
I
even
didn't.
kidding.
I did that with my sisters.
Yep.
But I also did it with you, and I did it with Erica, and
Yep.
I did it with my friends. I just took on. I even I've done it for my parents
Yeah.
because I just feel like I can do it.
Yep.
Let me handle it. Let me
Yeah.
take care of you. Let me be the one to
Give
fix
her all
everything.
the heavy things that we can't shoulder.
And I can't. And now that I'm
Mhm.
creating boundaries for it,
People are like, whoa.
and I'm afraid now that I people won't like me.
Yeah. No.
And then I'm afraid I'll lose everything and then I'll just be sad again.
What is scary? I mean, that's exactly what she says. If I can't be, hold on. What is the?
I actually have it too.
Do you? Because
Yeah.
I was like, I have to get this
Yeah.
part.
It's the part that I have from
Mhm.
Louisa is I'm
For-
pretty sure I'm worthless if I can't be of service.
Yes.
But wait, if I could shake the crushing weight of expectations, would that free some room up for joy or relaxation or simple pleasure?
Yep.
And that was something that I said to Barbara is I feel so fucking guilty having enjoying my life.
Yep.
I feel guilty for doing it. And it was one thing when I was teaching and I had summers off and I was still getting paid through the summer. Now, if you don't know this, like teachers get a salary, but they lessen your paychecks to spread it out over the year.
Okay.
So I think at one point we could have chosen to have it just during the school year, but like then you wouldn't get paid in the summer. So they just like spread it out.
Right.
So you're not working less hours than what you're getting paid for. You're just getting less money at the time so that it can last you. Anyway, I didn't care when I was getting a paycheck from the school district.
Yeah.
Or when I was getting it when I was working at Victoria's Secret. I didn't care about that. I feel guilty seeing the faces of people who are contributing to us.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like I know some of your stories, I know some of your struggles, and I feel like don't do it. Like just keep it. I feel guilty for it.
Yeah.
But it's because I don't value myself.
What we do.
I don't value what we do.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's not
because you feel like you should be doing everything for free for everybody.
Yes.
That's
yes.
Yeah. Because why would you take money for doing the things you're supposed to do, which isn't what you do. What we do is valuable.
Right. Well, and that's what she told me. She's like, you're bringing people joy.
Yes.
You're bringing people entertainment. You're giving them community. You're giving them companionship. You're also giving them like information. You're spending time on gear, on editing, on the back end stuff, on creating the merchandise. Like you're doing work.
Yeah.
So why not? And I'm like, because I just fuck me, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's because I was made to feel like
invaluable or like, yeah,
that was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad to be good.
To expect something for everything you're doing because it should just be what you do.
Right.
That's your like payment for existing. It's just like you have to do this.
I owe everyone everything.
Yeah.
And also if I want a pat on the back for it, then I'm full of myself.
Yeah.
And
it's
tough. It's tough. And
but
it's
not what it is.
But even saying it's tough makes me feel like people are going to roll their eyes at it.
I know.
And I just want to be like, fuck my problems. It's fine. I'll just go and cause more freaking cuts in my nose.
No, but it's important because somebody that's listening to this is thinking the same thing.
If you did, will you please tell me?
Yeah.
Whoever you are,
yeah.
please be one person.
It helps.
Seriously.
Please be
when
we're having a really hard time and we're like, who the fuck cares what we have to say? And then people are like, I literally care so much. I'm like, oh, okay. It makes me feel like we could keep doing this.
Yeah.
Because when I'm having a bad week and I'm like, I'm a stupid, big, dumb idiot. What a fucking like huge mistake I've made or whatever. Then when I have people that are like, yeah, but that one thing that you said really like helped me through this week or whatever. And I'm like, okay, so I'm not a total piece of shit.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Just a tiny piece of shit.
Yeah.
But the gaslighting with Abuela.
Oh, okay.
She was really like painted as the villain, but
she
it's
was
because you see what she went through, and that's the thing I think is a good thing to take from it is like, not that we should excuse what people do, because I love that she stood up to her and was like, no, you're making me feel like shit and you're the problem here.
Yep.
And then maybe it wasn't handled in the best way.
Yeah.
Because then the whole fucking house fell down.
But spoiler alert.
Yeah, sorry. But it was still like, you know, it's important for her to get it out because it's nice that we can see where trauma comes from and how it manifests into these negative qualities then in people who are trying to do good things. Like Isabella was trying to do good for the family, but don't be mean to your sister.
Yeah.
And Abuela, like, fucking relax, you know, and stop gaslighting. Because everything, she was like, no, the house is fine. There's no cracks. Everybody, she's fucking crazy. And let's go back and party. And the whole time she knew that it was going, and she knew why, that she was the problem. But she was like, if I just make it like she's crazy and chill out because you basically have no worth to the family because you have no gifts. Like the way that
I feel like you're projecting.
I really am.
A lot of your feelings.
But am I wrong?
Maybe.
How?
I don't think that Abuela thought that Mirabel was going to ruin everything. I think she was
But she made people think that.
scared. I think
Yeah,
that she
no,
was like,
that's what I'm
something is
saying.
going to happen.
But that's her problem, and she shouldn't have, in front of
Yes.
everybody else,
Yes, I know.
made it seem like she was the
Am
problem.
I picking Grandma's side again?
You are.
Sorry.
And Grandma.
Sorry.
Because the part that really got me was
Uh-huh.
when she specifically says, it was Antonio? Is that his name? The young one who gets his gift.
Yes.
I'm pretty
Yes,
sure
I
it's
think so.
Antonio. When he gets his gift, she's like, you finally got your gift. You are special now.
Yep.
Let's all take a picture. And does it freaking have her in the picture?
Yeah.
Bullshit. I was
Yeah.
pissed. Because in front of everybody, she's literally saying everyone who has a gift
Is
means
special.
something to
Yes.
and she knows that everybody what they want is to
Mhm.
give something to the family. That is like
Yep.
everybody's main goal. So the fact that she's saying because you got your gift now you can contribute to the family and like make the family proud right in front of the person who doesn't have the gift. Asshole.
Okay.
But also she watched her husband die and like I get it. And then
Yeah,
she
yeah, yeah.
had to
Well, that was one of the things I was going to say
she had
is
to raise those babies. I thought that was such a great part where they had her conversation.
Mhm.
She's like, you did it all. Like she acknowledges, but also it's like, Grandma, then don't take that out on me.
well, that's why I wanted to say that like the villain is generational trauma.
That's exactly what it is because it's
That's
not her
what the villain
fault.
was. Right. And I wrote this down. I was taking notes while I was watching it.
Me too. But
I
I
said-
stopped because I was getting too
Into it.
Yeah.
It was caused by the dangers they were trying to escape from. This makes me think of all the immigrants and the refugees, think of the generational trauma and the maladaptive coping mechanisms created to survive and protect themselves from threat of any future dangers. So
Exactly.
Abuela talks about how she was afraid
Yes.
and she just wanted to keep everyone safe.
I
She
wanted to keep the miracle alive because the
Yes.
miracle she got from losing the person she loved like the most in the world.
Right. And so what I wanted to bring up about maladaptive coping skills or maladaptive behaviors is they were once necessary.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
something that you learn to do to keep you safe, to keep
It was
you
a
alive.
survival like thing.
Yes. Was what you needed to do in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're safe, when you're in a situation where that behavior no longer makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes maladaptive, meaning it's now causing problems.
Yeah.
It
Harm to other people.
Yes, now it is an issue. It's no longer needed to keep you safe.
Yeah.
It's keeping other people at an arm's length
Yes.
from you. And so her trying to hold on so tightly to everything and keeping everything exactly how it should have
Perfect.
been, yes, is what ended up
Breaking them.
Yeah, breaking everything.
Breaking the miracle. Because
Yes.
really, truly, what the miracle was fueled by was love in
Right.
the family.
Right.
The whole family.
I had another thing too that I wanted to talk about the gifts. So when you just kind of transitioned into that, it made me think of it. The gifts aren't chosen.
Yeah.
They're given.
Right.
So I feel like that kind of represents how you assume a role in your family.
Yes.
Like you don't choose it. It's just kind of like assumed that you're going to be XYZ. That's
Yeah.
why I think we see so many patterns in like oldest, middle, youngest child.
Yep. And also, I think with that specifically is how the way you're raised, because no matter
Yes.
what, the oldest is going to get more attention
Yep.
because you're the only baby at the time.
Yep.
And then so when the middle comes around, it's kind of like the oldest child has to kind of assume almost like a caretaker role, even when they're small, because it's like, you want to
Definitely.
be mommy's helper? I need,
Yes.
this baby needs more help than you do right now.
Yes. And
So you can help me.
felt myself falling into that with Ollie.
Me too
and
with Noah.
I know how much sorry, Mom and Dad, resent the fact
Yeah.
that
Yes.
I had to do that.
Same.
And I don't think it's something parents do intentionally.
You don't.
You don't think
And
about
a lot
it.
of time, the kids are so willing. I know
Yes,
I try not to,
yes.
but my son wants to.
Mhm.
He is so happy to
Yeah.
help out.
But I mean, your son is 10 years older.
It's true.
So like Ollie
And
is
he's been a brother for 5 years.
Yeah. Ollie is
6 years.
20 months older than Forrest.
Yeah.
So like I looked at Forrest or I looked at Shane and I said, Forrest right now is almost as old as Ollie was when we brought Forrest home. And I cannot even imagine expecting what I expected of Ollie of Forrest right now.
Yep.
And so I'm
Because he's your
already
baby.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. But I knew, I was like, Ollie, you got to fucking man up. There's
You
a
have
new
to
baby in town.
Transition quickly.
Yes. But I wrote, it's easy to fall into that role when you're handed the rule book and the uniform. Just like, okay, assume the position.
Yep.
And that's how I think people get stuck on a path.
Yeah.
But there's problems with fitting into that role, and there's problems with not fitting into the role. It's feels like, what good are you to anyone if you don't fit that role?
Yeah.
But if you do fit into the role, then it's like, who am I if I'm not this?
Yeah.
So like neither
what
is
do
good.
I have?
Yes.
Yeah. If I'm not like, that's my whole, I was like caretaker for all my sisters for a very long time. And then I became a mother. Like if that were like, I don't know what I'm going to be when that role, well, I feel like you guys are all my babies. So I hope that role never goes away. Yeah. But like, I feel like a caretaker role is like it was given to me.
Yep.
Because at such an early age, I was my mom's helper.
Yep.
I was.
Because our sisters are like 16 months younger than us.
18 months for me. Yep. Like literally as soon as that's crazy that I was basically still a baby.
Yep. When
my mom brought a newborn home and then I had to like frickin' shape up because you're the oldest now and I'm going to need your help because this new baby needs me more than you need me. So.
Yeah. I also wrote, when it's preached that your worth is measured by how much you can do for others or how well you fit into your role, you never learn to feel worthy for just being. You're always looking to someone else's scoreboard to assess your worth. If you don't maintain your role and follow the path laid out for you, it's a failure. If you never feel like you have anything to offer in the first place, it's a failure. So I feel like you and I experience the same failure, but just for different reasons.
Yes.
I feel like if I stop being this, then I'm nothing.
Yeah. And I feel like I never was.
Yeah.
And so it was like, oh, great. You are, what good are you? If you're just here, if you're just existing, what can you do for us?
Yep.
You're not giving me a reason to go and brag about you to my friends or whatever. And so.
And that's why I feel like
why are you just existing? I don't know, because you birthed me.
Didn't mean to. That's why I feel like I'm constantly trying to tell you, like, how much you do and how much you have to offer. And
I just thought about that the other day, and I don't do the same to you, but I think it's a generational thing, or
no,
not.
But what I was gonna say is, I don't need that.
Yeah,
I need what you say to me, which is you don't have to do it all.
Yeah,
you can stop.
Aww.
You like let me help.
Doing the
like
right thing.
You are.
That's
yeah,
really nice.
I feel like
because I just thought the other day I was like, I don't say those things to her, and what a bitch I am.
No, I don't need it.
Yeah,
because it's honestly a trigger.
Yeah,
because
then it's like pressure.
Well, I was complimented so much, and I was celebrated so much by grandma, by my parents, by like whoever else.
And it was like a community thing with our family.
Yeah.
Like friends of them.
Yeah.
Were so like.
And so I think, hurt my sisters to be compared to me constantly. And so we didn't have a good relationship because when you're in competition with your literal family or you feel like you're being compared to them.
Assessed constantly.
Yes. I wanted to quit. I'm like, I don't want to be in this.
Yeah.
I don't want to be praised because
I didn't ask for there to be a scoreboard because I don't want to be on it anymore.
You praising me makes them hate me.
Yep.
And then I hate me.
Yep.
But I hate me because I still want to do well, but I don't want anyone to ever see it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to fail because that kills me.
And it's
but that would feel better because then they would like me.
I've noticed this too with you because I will celebrate things with the podcast. I'll post it on social media, like unless it's the tangent social media, you don't post about it that much.
I don't say anything.
Right, because I feel like you feel like you're going to be bragging if you talk about it. And that's not true. It's a good thing, and we're doing awesome, and that's a fucking something that should be celebrated.
Yeah, I will not.
I know you won't, but I do it for us, and I tag you in it.
I know. I want to be excited, and I want people to know, and I want to feel proud, and I do feel proud, but I feel like I have to do it in the dark.
Quietly.
Yes.
Because you can't be braggy.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course you are, Jerry.
Yeah.
You're perfect. You're not. You're not perfect, and I'm telling you this right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I know you needed that.
Barbara was like, "What are you hearing right now?" And I'm like, that I'm on a high horse, that I'm conceited, that I never think I do anything wrong, that I'm a bitch, and I was just like going through all of these things that I'm like, me doing well and me being self-assured and confident. And now I know for a fact that I was also a bitch. Like I know that I know that I was not great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely because I was trying to
maintain that perfectness.
Yes, and I was trying to like do my role as best as I fucking could, and people didn't like it, and I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to do. Will you just let me do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't help that I have all of these pressures.
I can't help that I'm great.
I can't help it that I'm fucking the flowers are coming out of my ass.
Yeah, sorry.
Excuse
do you
me.
want to have Sunday?
All right, do you want to
a
talk
hurricane of jacarandas?
Do you want to talk about Bruno? First of all, his name was going to be Oscar. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, but you can't do a catchy fucking song.
Oh, we don't talk about Oscar. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
So they changed it for that.
Okay.
There's something that happens. This is not even about the movie, but it's just something that Lin-Manuel Miranda does that is the best fucking thing in like lyrically and song wise that he does that gives me goose fucking pimps every time I hear it. And it's when he has a big song like that and it crescendos to like the main point, he'll have multiple different people singing their verse throughout the song, and then it all comes together and they're all singing their parts, but like it crescendos. Some people will start singing theirs louder, and then but you can hear the other ones in the background, and then it switches.
Yeah,
dude,
the layers.
Every fucking time I hear it, I'm like, this man is a genius.
Yeah, and
I swear to God, it gives me like inside my belly. I'm like, woohoo! I love Bruno. First of all, I fucking laughed out loud multiple times in this movie, and that's what I love about children's movies that can make me laugh.
When he said that his real talent was being an actor.
I am Hernando.
Yeah.
Who's Hernando? I am. And I am afraid of nothing. Dude, that part, whenever she is trying to catch him and he's like, the rat comes up and she's like, ah, oh. And then the other part when she's going up the stairs and she goes, at least I have a friend to go up with me. And he flew away immediately. Oh, so good.
Bruno seemed a little bit superstitious.
Yeah.
And it made me really sad.
Yeah.
Because I think that he felt that way because he was told over and over and over again that he made bad things happen.
Yes.
That anything bad was his fault.
Is in that song.
Which again, I related to.
Yes. Because it's all things that were going to happen anyways. Or like Peppa, the ant.
Yes.
In that beginning of the song, she says, hold on, I want to say the exact line so I...
While you're looking for that, I wanted to say something about her as well.
Yes.
The entire time, it seems like the weather mimics her emotions.
Yeah.
And she rejects them all the time. And so it feels uncontrollable. And I relate to that as well. Is like, if I'm not addressing my emotions and I'm not kind of trying to figure out where they are, I'm just ignoring them, they feel uncontrollable. They feel like they're in control of me.
Yeah. And so in this, she's like, it was our wedding day. We were getting ready. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. Bruno walks in. There's
the
thunder.
mischievous grin.
You're telling the story, or am I? Bruno says it looks like rain. Why did he tell us? In doing so, he floods my brain. Abuela, get the umbrellas. Married in a hurricane. What a joyous day. But anyways, so she's blaming the weather on him when she is the one who controls the weather. But she's saying because he said it looks like rain,
He put it in my
He
brain.
put it in my head, and so of course it happens. Immediately blaming him for something that wasn't his fault.
But no one told him ever that it wasn't his fault.
Yes.
And so constantly people were just validating that negative message in his head.
And that's what he keeps saying, like, I don't want to do these anymore because everybody gets mad at me when I do them because I'm telling them what's going to happen, but they don't like what I have to say.
Right.
They don't like what I'm telling them. It's the truth.
Or I'm cursed and everything that I say is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are things that he says that don't have to come true.
Mm-hmm.
If you, that was the thing too. It's like, they don't have to. Well, the goldfish was going to die.
Yeah.
That was just going to happen. But like,
goldfish are always dying.
You could change it
if
you wanted to. For instance, when he says, to Dorothea. Sorry, what is the cousin's name?
I think it's Dorothea.
Or Dolores?
Dolores.
When he tells Dolores, the man that you love will be betrothed to another.
Yep.
But she ends up getting with him in the end anyways because they make it happen. So it's like, it doesn't have to be a bad thing, but you're making it a bad thing. There's also a really cool part when she's talking in that. I like that she kind of whispers and makes you, because her whole gift is having to really listen and she can hear whispers. And so I love that she gets really quiet so that you have to kind of really listen to what she's saying. That was something I had the subtitles on because I fucking missed the whole thing she says. And she like foreshadows that he's in the wall because she says, I can always hear him mumbling and stuttering or something like that. And it's like, because he's in the wall.
Yeah.
He's with the rats.
Dropped my earring. And that made me so sad that he was there the whole time and he was like wanting to be a part of the family.
But
and
he couldn't because he was afraid of grandma.
Because
relatable.
he was afraid he was going to hurt people.
Yeah. When
So
he wanted
sad.
to protect her
because
he knew how it would look. He said, I'm Bruno.
Yep.
So I know how they'll take it.
Mhm.
And so I crushed it and I left so that nobody would find it.
Yep. Do you remember when I talked about figuring out that I had a panic disorder and PTSD and all of these things, and I felt like all of the things that made me up was a part of a tapestry, and if I started pulling at the strings that it was all going to fall apart and I was going to realize that like I don't know who I am.
Yes.
I feel like that's what happened with the house.
Yeah.
Is like this idea of who they thought they were as a family.
Yes.
Was not really who they were or who they needed to be.
Well, and then it's like you start questioning, who am I
Right.
if I don't have these gifts, if I don't have these things, if I'm not who I've been told that I'm supposed to be, then what happens?
Well, I wrote down too that the home and the candle being the magic, quote unquote, makes me think it represents like a legacy.
Yeah.
And so many people feel the weight of their family's name or journey and assume the role in that family, which I feel like being from a small town and having parents who are prominent in the city, like we feel that.
We had a last name that was you just had to say our last name and people are like, oh, I know.
Oh, who's your dad? Is your dad this one or this one?
Yep.
Yeah. So there was like a huge emphasis on responsibility to make the family proud and to
make
serve the
family
community.
Look good too.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And the problem with that is our focus becomes pleasing others and never finding what makes us proud.
Yep.
We're guided toward a path that may never have been meant for us. And what was the most sad to me is this was happening to them as children.
Yes.
So like they never even had a chance to realize like
who they could be, their potential. Like when you see Isabella realizing that like, oh shit, I can do all of these things if I'm just not being perfect. If I just let my emotions take control for a second, look at what I can create. It's crazy.
And the same thing with Louisa when she like was in the hammock at the end. It was like, I can relax. I can pick things up, but it doesn't mean that I should.
That doesn't mean I have to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that is a lesson that I need to learn.
And I wish you would.
I know. What I wrote about Bruno.
Yeah.
After I said that he looks superstitious is that
by the way, when I asked Noah if he got anything from this movie, he goes that sometimes creepy people can be the good guys. I was like, great.
That's funny. I feel like how Mirabel didn't have a gift, so she was viewed as like useless kind of or portrayed that way. Bruno had a gift, but he didn't do it right.
Yeah.
So he was also cast aside.
And because his gift kind of made them like didn't make them look bad, but kind of made them use their gifts in like the wrong way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
it
how
was
they
like,
perceived it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
it caused a negative feeling.
Like for Pippa, she's like, I have a gift, but you're making me use it in the wrong way on my wedding day. And now look at what you've done to me. When it's like, you were the one that did it.
Going back to the house falling down, I think the saddest scene in the entire movie is the river scene.
Ugh. Well, do you know I I looked up the lyrics in English to that song?
Do you know that's the first song in a Disney movie that is completely in another language? Like
I
the entirety
love
of the
that.
song. Me too.
Yeah. So I was like, this is too heavy of a
Yep.
song that I need to know. Have you looked it up?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I mean, I read the subtitles
I'm very
during
excited
it,
to
but it
read
was like
to
2
you.
caterpillars.
Yes. So I will read it real quick, and it just like hits me. 2 little caterpillars in love spend their nights and early mornings together. Full of hunger, they keep walking and navigating a world that changes and keeps changing, and navigating a world that changes and keeps changing.
Mm-hmm.
2 caterpillars stop the wind. While they embrace with feeling, they keep growing, not knowing when to search for some retreat. Times keep changing. They are inseparable, and times keep changing. Little caterpillars, don't hold on anymore. You must grow apart and return. You'll keep moving forwards. Miracles come, chrysalises come. You must leave and build your own future. Little caterpillars, don't hold on anymore. You must grow apart and return. You'll keep moving forward. Miracles come, chrysalises come. You must leave and build your own future. 2 disoriented caterpillars in 2 well-wrapped cocoons. With new dreams, now all that's missing is to do what's necessary in a world that keeps changing. Taking down its walls, there comes our miracle. Our miracle, our miracle. Butterflies, don't hold on anymore. You must grow apart and return. You'll keep moving forwards. There are already miracles, chrysalises breaking open. You must fly. You must find your own future. Butterflies, don't hold on anymore. Oh, so that's the same. Yeah, they just repeat that then 3 times.
So sad.
But I heard
It's
that
beautiful.
the butterflies
Yeah.
in the movie that they see over and over again kind of shows that transition, that change from being what you are supposed to be, what you are quote unquote supposed to be for your family, into who you are.
Yep.
And like that transition where Mirabelle is trying to find her purpose the whole time, and the whole time she was the gift, the whole thing holding the whole family together. Like, yes, she didn't have a magical gift.
I felt like the whole house was hers.
That's exactly it. When I said, what do you think her gift was? Noah said, I think she was the house liked her the best, is what he said. But when she gets
she's the heart of the home. She is the
keeps
foundation.
It all together. Yes.
She's the foundation.
But when she gets that doorknob and he says, you're the gift.
Yep.
Oh,
when they were all singing to her when she was walking up and they were lining on the way to the new house.
They're like, looking the doorknob. And she's like, it's me. It's all of me.
Yeah.
But that's like, she's the one they need. Like, yes, all of their gifts were nice.
Yes.
But to keep everything together, it was her.
Yeah. Or to know how to really be able to enjoy their gifts,
to
use their gifts for themselves, and find out how to be happy and how to use that to then give back to the family and the community.
Yeah. So I think they all transitioned in a way that was really beautiful.
Yeah.
That was them with the gifts, finding how to be themselves, and then her, who had always known how to be herself, finding out what her gift was.
Yeah.
So when also
good.
I don't know if you noticed, but when the town comes back together then with the magic, there's a crack still in the mountains in the background. And so they asked the directors, Byron Howard and Jared Bush, and co-director Charisse Castro-Smith, if this was the key to the film's finale. And then Castro-Smith is the one he elaborates. He says, quote, "It was always this concept of when this kind of terrible foundational moment happened to the family, they were closed in and protected, but they were also sort of closed off from their past. It was not really intentional for it was really intentional for the mountains to not completely close back up, because now they're able to see their past and interact with it in a healthy way without blocking it off." He said you caught a very important detail there. Like, there were so many things that they put in there that they meant to for, again, generational trauma, which is like, I know a lot of people who experience it try so hard This is with any kind of trauma.
Yeah.
To like completely block it out.
Because you want to believe that you are healed from it.
Yes, I'm good. I'm better now. But
Yep.
there is a way that you can interact with that in a healthy way.
Mhm.
And I think that's the goal the whole time
Yeah.
is to be able to deal with it in a healthy way and not suppress it in ways, in unhealthy ways.
Because I think if you can't come to terms with it, then you can't move on from it.
No,
You know what I
and
mean?
that's where you get things like addiction to drugs, alcohols, any kind of like addiction to something is just like
Unhealthy coping
masking,
mechanism.
masking what you're really feeling. So I
Yeah.
think that's important, an important lesson.
Yeah. Well, you guys asked for it. I hope you liked it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Did you get anything out of it?
Yeah.
I basically cried the whole time.
I feel like you
Not
just
during this, but
Yeah.
during the movie.
I feel like you got to know us a little bit better, and you got a lot of you want to know about our interactions together growing up. And what you heard is Sierra was constantly compared to me, and it made me feel bad for being successful.
And I was shit. And
So-
still am. But
So
I'm
there's
happy with
that.
myself now.
Me too.
Yeah. Getting there.
Sure. Okay.
All right.
Well, that's that on Encanto.
Yeah.
The enchantment. Thanks for hanging out, guys.
Yeah.
We love you so much. We thank you for being here. We will see you next week.
All right. We're out. Goodbye.